going to show you some tips for using the Winnow wizard. The first thing you want to do, depending on what crop you're going to do, is look up what screens you want to use. In one of these tables, it will show you, usually the first one is S, I think always, and then the second one is either M or it could be O, which means open, and then the last one would be L for large, just the size of the holes, and that's going to control how much air is going to flow through. So you choose your screens based on what you're doing. There's a list of potential crops, like we're going to do some parsley. I'm going to look down the list. There's no parsley on my list, but the closest seed I can see is going to be flat light seeds. So I'm going to have an S, M, and then the R1, which is slightly restricted because we're blocking some of the holes. The next adjustment that you want to do is going to be where your seed lands. So when it comes down from the hopper, down through the vibrating plate, and then through the slot here, the wind is going to push it to a certain measurement here. So we have guidelines for where that can land. It's not necessarily going to be exactly right, but it gives you an idea of where to start. So this, I'm guessing we don't actually have parsley on here, but I'm guessing it's going to be very similar to cress and celia or alliums, because it's about the same size seed. And so that is saying my divider setting should be set between 7 and 10 inches, pretty wide area. So the edge of these dividers is going to sit on 10 and then on 7 inches. And again, this is just like an estimate. You can adjust it as you go if it's not working out well for you. I'm going to butt my bins right up next to there so that we have as little as possible falling between the bins, but there is always some that falls between the bins. That's part of it. The next thing I'd want to do is adjust this vibrating plate. If you want a really aggressive angle, you can use these to adjust it. And then you also want to adjust the slot where your seed's going to come out for how big the seed is. So if you had beans, you're going to have to make that quite a bit wider. So we have these little magnets that you can use to adjust that spacing. Just as an example, that would give you a really wide space. You do it on both sides, obviously. For parsley, we don't need too much. The seed isn't going to be too big. Before I put my seed in, this is all adjusted. I'm going to want to make sure that the bottom of the hopper, the gate that opens it up for the seed to fall through, is closed. And that's this lever here, which is quite stiff. You just want to make sure it's closed. And I think it is now. I can peek in from the top. So we can see in here there is a really strong magnet, and that magnet actually will capture some of the dirt and some small stones that you might have in your seed. And every once in a while it just needs to be cleaned off a little bit because there is dirt kind of gathering on it. Once you have all of the adjustments that you want to have made to the Winnow wizard, you can start it up. There is a switch on the back of this that will power the auger. If it has to be in the up position for it to go, but if you hit power, it'll go. But just in case you're wondering if it's not spinning, that's probably why. And before you actually want to start letting your seed out, you want to let the blower get up to speed. So just by turning on the power, it'll turn on the blower, and it'll turn on the vibrating plate, and it'll turn on the auger. But the blower just takes a little while to get to the right speed. So I always leave this gate closed until, just like for a few seconds. And then when I'm ready to start letting the seed out, then I know that the blower's up to speed. So I'm going to keep it on low here. To allow the seed to start flowing through. You can see a lot of the seeds falling right on this divider, so I should have it. But I'll keep what's in this bin because it's probably fine.